Hello everyone and welcome to another Pyro gaming video. The Shards of Galanor are new exotic gauntlets for the hunter. These gauntlets work similar to Orpheus Rig or Skull of Dire Ahamkara for the warlock, only these work with Blade Barrage. Hits and kills return super energy. Taking a closer look at these gauntlets, you can see that the intrinsic perk Sharp Edges does return super energy for hits and kills with Blade Barrage. Aside from that, you have your random perks like you do on any other exotic. These are not fixed, they are random. And when we inspect these things, they look really neat. They almost kind of have like a Baron vibe to them with some scrap metal thrown together around your hunter's forearms. So let's take a look at these things in action, but first I want to give a big thank you to my buddy Preston for letting me use his account to try out these gauntlets. I have personally not gotten them yet, so really thank you. So, on to the gauntlets. Whenever you kill an enemy or hit enemies with Blade Barrage, you get a buff that pops up on the left side of your screen that says Super Regeneration. This buff has a timer, and depending on what you kill and how many things you kill, that timer will be longer or shorter. It should go without saying that the longer that buff is active, the more super energy you're going to have returned. So because it's a buff that's applied to you after you get kills or hits with Blade Barrage, this is not exactly like Skull of Dire Ahamkara. For Skull of Dire Ahamkara, for example, you don't get a buff, you just get a chunk of your super back. And killing an Ultra typically refills your super completely with Skull of Dire Ahamkara. Now, you just saw me kill an Ultra with these gauntlets, and I only get a smidge of my super back, whereas killing a bunch of red bars gave me a little bit more than half of my super back here. Now, once I realized that the buff applied seems to be dependent on how many enemies you actually hit or how many of your knives actually hit the enemies, and not necessarily that much weighted towards like the power level of the enemy, I figured Escalation Protocol would be the perfect area to test this out. So you can see here, I kill a bunch of Thrall and I get a little bit less super, but I generated 5 orbs just like I did with the previous set of enemies. So that basically just further confirms that if you want to get more super, you need to try to get as many of your knives to hit as many enemies as possible when you cast your super. So, keeping in mind that when you cast Blade Barrage, you throw 2 separate volleys of knives. You have the first one, then the second one. You want to try to spread those out and try to hit as many enemies as you can. And you can see here that whenever we do that, we get that buff for 5 full seconds, which basically refills my super. I mean, it gets it to the point where a couple of kills and I have my super back. Now, I also want to point out that I generated 7 orbs there, and I generate 7 orbs on the second super as well, but don't quite generate as much super energy. So just to kind of recap all of this, the thing that seems to matter the most is how many of your blades actually hit an enemy and how many of those enemies die as a result of being hit from those blades. That being said, I feel like most people are probably going to have super inconsistent results using this exotic. However, it is still really fun, and like I said at the beginning of the video, a little bit of super energy back is still better than no super energy back. And for those of you that are curious, I did want to go ahead and head into a private Crucible match to see how much super energy you get back per Guardian kill. So you can see here that it actually restores a pretty sizable chunk, you know, considering I just killed 1 Guardian there. So, I mean, if you can get like a 4 or 5 multi-kill, you might get your full super back. So there you have it, guys. If you are a fan of the Hunter's new Blade Barrage super, then these Shards of Galanor are probably going to be pretty fun for you. So that's definitely something to look forward to, especially in this rare exotic drop economy that we currently have. Although Bungie did say that they're going to buff exotic drop rates and make it so that you have a better chance to get new exotics. But that's going to bring this video to an end, guys. Thank you so much to my buddy Preston for letting me use his account. That's his gamer tag you see up there, Crazy Billy Goat. Apparently he likes to eat trash can food and some grass. I don't know. That's what Billy Goats do, right? That's going to bring this video to an end. If you enjoyed it, click like. If you're new to the channel, click subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, I fucking love you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.